Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about IBMi AS400 connector for Mule 4 version 2.1.2 released on 2nd September of this year. A couple of housekeeping points. A recording of this webinar will be available to you soon. Questions will be handled at the end of the session. You can also email us your questions at mule400@infoviewsystems.com. And you can tell us what you think about this seminar by filling up a quick feedback form after this session. About today's speakers, myself, Sri Ranjani Soma, I'm Head of Marketing for Infoview Systems. Satya, the CTO of Infoview Systems. Satya has more than 2 decades of rich experience in the IT industry, having served in IT leadership and tech management roles. Satya has been a MuleSoft expert and speaker. Nalini, she's the lead integration specialist, and she's had a decade or more than a decade of experience in every phase of software development. Nalini is also an integration expert. She's a MuleSoft certified developer with extensive knowledge and experience in working with IBMi AS400 versions. A brief intro about Infoview and its journey with MuleSoft. Infoview was incorporated offering AS400 professional services. Infoview then partnered with Microsoft, IBM, Cisco, and other technology providers and included a lot more competencies like computer analysis and planning. We were also successfully providing AS400, Java, .NET, and cloud services under the Infosys umbrella. Infoview established itself as a MuleSoft partner in the year 2015 with AS400 connector and WebTF development and certification. The first MuleSoft implementation was done in Woodland, Texas. Infoview has now established itself as a go-to MuleSoft partner for IBMi AS400 integrations. First partner to certify the connector for Mule 4. With innovation and excellence as the main motto, Infoview has since successfully completed numerous MuleSoft implementations and integration projects. With the mission to build cross-platform professional services team, focusing on business outcomes and long-term care, these are our offerings under Connect, Revitalize, and Sustain. Now, Connect is basically platform implementation, connectivity to cloud, and on-prem applications with MuleSoft Anypoint with variety of other integration platforms. Revitalize is basically legacy modernization and migration strategy and implementation. And you have Sustain, which is providing managed services and support with communication and infrastructure services as well. Here is a quick snapshot of the clients, partners, and industries across locations which Infoview services right now. So you can see that we are present at America location, Europe, and Middle East and India. We also have partnered with IBM, AWS, Microsoft, and we are basically MuleSoft partners. And our services are spread across healthcare, retail, banking, finance, manufacturing, waste management, and public and government services. I now hand over this to Satya. Satya, please take over from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ranjani. Hello, everyone. I am Satya from Infoview Systems as CTO. Today, we are going to discuss about our latest release of AS400 Anypoint Connector version 2.1.2, and we will give you a demo regarding the latest features, based on some use cases. Before that, I would like to give some kind of background about IBMi and why we need the digital transformation or the legacy modernization. So IBMi or AS400 is a well-known system. It's pretty old systems, introduced as AS400 in 1988. It has evolved into a stable, modern, all-purpose integrated platform. Later, its name changed to as IBMi. IBMi runs core LOB applications securely and predictably, known for its bulletproof security and one of the lowest TCO for integrated on-prem solutions. The virtualization is available since 1999. See, this is a very stable platform. Once you develop the code, you don't need to worry about that. It runs very securely, and the performance-wise also is very well. People wrote the code in sometime in 1992, 1995. Those codes are still running without any issues. Also, there is no any kind of issue related to the viruses, etc. Virus attack, etc. It's very secure platform. So when we talk about let's the platform is so great, so stable, so secure, then why people talks about like this is a very legacy system or and it need to be modernized or replaced? The reason is that there are a number of challenges that typically IBMi user faces generally, mostly related to the stability of the platform and the resulting longevity of the applications. Technical debt, poor reuse, batch file point-to-point interfaces, and the poor UI, black and green screen. Those things are getting out of control. Also, there are very, almost no automated testing or CI/CD features are available. So, to outcome from those kind of challenges, IT organization respond to these different kind of challenges in different way with mix of legacy modernization and sunsetting initiative, with focusing on the integration side. Okay, they unlock the IBMi data and process fast and promote the reusability with the different kind of API-led connectivity. UI modernization, we will create the UI with different kind of latest technology like Angular or React, and they connect those UIs through the API to the backend S400 systems. So they can utilize the same business logic only by changing the front end without any kind of, again, rework in the business logic side. Also, people talk about the database modernization, CI/CD, and DevOps implementation. In certain scenario, people would like to, move the applications into the cloud or SaaS-based platform. Infoview systems here we offers a full stack modernization services for AS400 and IBMi. For this webinar, we will focus only on the integration side. So the integration, when we talk about the integrations, we need some kind of integration platform. And in this webinar, we are going to talk about, because we are going to talk about only the anypoint connector, AS400 anypoint connector. So we'll only concentrate how this connector will solve the problem with the integration based modernization. So the challenges we have already discussed in our previous slide. To come out from those challenges, and when we consider for the complete modernization or digital transformation, enterprise react in number of ways. The emerging application model favors a network of smaller agile components that addresses specific business capabilities, can evolve rapidly and independent of other components, communicating through common integration fabric. So to realize this application network vision, MuleSoft developed a API-led connectivity approach and anypoint platform. By using this approach, we can create the application network, which is reusable, plug and play basis. By using the minimal transformation, we can connect any of the application to the core systems. With the API-led connectivity also is a layered approach. The system API or system layer that connect to the core systems. In process layer or process API, we implement the orchestration, the business logic, basically the transformation logic, and in the UI layer, that is called the experience layer, that connects to the different kind of UI systems like mobile, web-based applications, or any other UI-based systems. The process of integration is simplified with a huge network of application data and devices connected by reusable APIs, accelerator, whether it's on-premises or in the cloud. So that's the basically integration solutions to come out from, to modernize those legacy systems. And we will discuss in further slide how we can achieve that. About MuleSoft, MuleSoft is not a new, it's a very quite decades of old systems, and it's a very well-known iPaaS solution provider for the integration and API solutions. As per the Gartner report in 2019, it is one of the leader in the similar kind of iPaaS provider one of the leader in iPaaS provider, the companies. So its product is very, why we talk about MuleSoft is so great. There are different kind of reasons. The key enablers are basically reusability. Its reusable components, we can develop its reusable components, and a lot of reusable components are already available in MuleSoft Exchange as a connector, accelerator, and templates. And by using those reusable components, we can accelerate our development activities and reduce the cost of development. Self-service, MuleSoft Anypoint platform is a self-service portal. There are different kind of components are available, like API administration, and runtime services, runtime manager. So by using those things, we can do the self-service without any kind of support from the MuleSoft. We can deploy our application. We can apply the policies to our APIs. We can do the monitoring. A lot of things we can do. So that is the one of the key features of this platform. Governance and security, different kind of API security and platform security we can implement. We can configure in Anypoint platform, and definitely the composability. Our business outcome based delivery model focuses on new channel enablement, customer 360-degree view, new market opportunities, and agile and adaptive process flows, and that result in cost saving and revenue growth for the organization who implement, who do the initiate the digital transformation for their legacy systems. So what are the solutions when we talk about the the legacy modernization or the digital transformation for the AS400 based applications, or the organization who is using the AS400 from long time? So these are the solution components. When we talk about the modernization in terms of the integration or API strategy, these components are used to achieve the solutions. Infoview developed the AS400 connector that is used for the Anypoint platform, MuleSoft in MuleSoft integration application development, and web transaction framework that complement MuleSoft Anypoint and accelerate the IBMi use cases. So web transaction framework is a product of the Infoview systems, and that resides in AS400 side. It's a lightweight IBMi integration gateway. AS400 connector, that is the MuleSoft Anypoint connector, certified by the MuleSoft and available in MuleSoft Exchange, that accelerate the Mule and IBMi integration. When we develop the MuleSoft integration flows, we can utilize this connector and we can do the integration with IBMi very easily. MuleSoft Anypoint platform, that is a comprehensive integration platform, and it's very easily we can develop. Within a week, a developer can learn the MuleSoft very easily, and they can start doing the small kind of scenarios, small kind of integration application development. It's very easy to learn, and there are a lot of community supports are available, a lot of documentation are available. So learning curve is very low. We can learn very easily the MuleSoft Anypoint platform very easily. It's a very low complex platform, so very easily we can adopt that and we can start the development activities. Typical use cases when we should use what, because we discuss about web transaction framework and AS400 connector. Both are two separate product of Infoview systems. Web transaction framework is a separate product, as an independent product. AS400 Anypoint connector also a separate and independent product. We don't need to use we are not forcing anyone to use both the product at the same time. We will discuss some use cases when to use what. It's up to the customer choice based on their necessity or their use case. They can choose which components they need to use at what time. One of the use case would be MuleSoft calls the AS400 or unlock the IBMi business data and logic. So in this scenario, what we need to use the AS400 connector. Also, in certain scenario, we can use the DB connector. But the difference between the DB connector and AS400 connector is, by using the DB connector, we can just do the query to the tables, but we cannot do the program call or command call or accessing the data queues, posting the message to the data queues. So those are the certain things. If you would like to do, we have to use the AS400 connector. And by using the AS400 connector, we can utilize the pre-existing business logic, which is already written long year back in AS400 side. That functionality we can utilize and simply expose those as a API services. There are another use case that would be AS400 calls the MuleSoft or consume the external data or logic. In those scenario, we use the AS400 connector in combination with the web transition framework. We will show you these use cases in our demo. Then there is another use case like replicating the IBMi data to another database. For that, we use the web transition framework and the change data capture solutions. Change data capture solution is another product of Infoview systems that is also AS400 side. So we will concentrate mostly in this webinar or this demo about the MuleSoft Anypoint connector. So IBMi AS400 connector, basically we did the first release in 2015 for the MuleSoft version 3, and then later once Mule4 beta version was released, we are the first partner who migrated our connector to Mule4 and got certified by the MuleSoft and released in Anypoint platform. A lot of our customers, they already updated their Mule3 integration to Mule4, and they are using our Mule4 connector. You can visit the exchange, MuleSoft exchange, and you can find out there are release notes and different kind of documentation for our connector, different features what are available. In Mule4 also we have now 3 releases, 2.1.0, 2.1.1 and 2.1.2. Latest one we released a few weeks back. And in this latest release, we have included few features, and those features are especially related to the performance and best practices side, like we have added the socket timeout, number of retries mechanism, maximum time to live to the connection. This configuration we have added to our connector. We have enabled standard reconnection strategy and notification in case of connection failed events. We have added explicit data queue entry and key length to support writing into remote keys data queue. We'll show you where these connectors are available in Exchange and how to install in Anypoint Studio. Before I hand over this to Nalini, where she's going to show you the demo based on some use cases. We have a lot of demos are already available in our company's GitHub and website. You can find out that. I'll show you those URL as well. Let me open the browser. So if you go to the MuleSoft exchange, mulesoft.com exchange, you will find out the list of assets. You can simply search here with AS400 provided by MuleSoft. You will find out AS400 connector Mule3. This is the older version compatible with Mule3 till 3.9, and we have this Mule4 compatible connector. We have all the releases here. We have recently released this version. You can find out about the connector. We have the release notes. We have the connector reference, connector user guide. A very comprehensive documentation for all the details of the connector, the features and older version features, compatibility with Mule runtime and IBMi. These things are available here. You can read this documentation, and if you have any queries, you can always come back to us. You can send a mail for your clarification. We have the connector documentation. Here in this documentation, we are giving a very detailed documentation reference with each and every parameter related to the connector configuration, what each component do, is it mandatory or not. Okay, the description of this each and every field. Okay, what is the secure connection? We have if you are configuring the secure connection, you can always find the details of the secure connection in our website. We have the link also here. You can find out from our website blogs how securely we can connect with MuleSoft IBMi connector, how to set up the secure connection with IBMi from MuleSoft. So these things are available, and regarding these operations and all, we are going to demonstrate you in our demo today. So if you would like to install this connector, there are 2 ways of doing it. You can simply go to the pom.xml. you can configure the dependency here. Okay, you can install it from, you can download from your Exchange and you can install it. Also, you can install it from here directly from Exchange in your Anypoint Studio, like how generally you install from for other connector. You can simply try Exchange AS400. You can search AS400. You can try it Exchange. You can type here AS400, and you can add the connector here. Select the latest version and finish. You will start finish the installation, right? If you talk about AS400 configuration, what we recently added with this release, they are the things like secure connection. You can configure the secure connection to AS400, true, false, or you can configure based on the expression. You can configure the socket timeout. You can configure that is basically your unit for this configuration. Connection retry in case of connection failure due to the network issue or something. The number of, you can tell to your program how many number of times it should do a retry before throwing an error. And then another field, we have the reconnection period. So between the two reconnection retries, connection retries, how much time it should wait before giving the second retry. And this is the time unit for this configuration. We have the connection time to live. So you can tell to the program that this many number, like this much time, or connection, once you make the connection with AS400 should be alive. So we can do that configuration as well. We can configure the time unit here. So these are the pretty old demo, and we have demonstrated this demo in our previous webinars as well. It's already available in YouTube and our company websites. So also these demos are uploaded in our company's GitHub and website. We have upgraded these demos to our latest connector. Also, we are going to publish these in our GitHub and company website as well. You can run this demo. These are the guidelines are already available in the YouTube. Today, for today's demo, we are going to show you some use case basis program, like integrating the Salesforce with AS400, and that is planned for today's webinar. If you would like to run these programs, you can take the help of our already published YouTube videos. You can download it from our GitHub. We have the company GitHub here, infoviewsystems.com. Lot of demos are available. You can download these programs from here. The upgraded demos also we will upload here. Even the Salesforce based programs which we develop for today's webinar will publish here. You can download it from here. We have our websites. You can go to infoviewsystem.com and you can click on demos. You can download the programs for here. With this, I am handing over this to Nalini. She's going to explain you, demonstrate you that this connector features with some use cases. So, Nalini, now all is yours.
Thank you, Satya. Hi, everyone. This is Nalini from Infoview Systems. Today, I would like to demonstrate two use cases. The first one is IBMi as a provider, where we are going to expose IBMi business logic as an API to the external systems. Suppose we have an order creation program in AS400. Using AS400 connector and MuleSoft, we are going to create an API and which will be available for external systems to use. So I'm going to show how this is we can achieve this easily. So here we have an order creation program, simple RPG program, which accepts the external order number and creates a new order in AS400. It accepts order amount, status, and the item list of items within the order with item number, quantity, and price. So we have different types of input, which is packed decimal, character, and then a data structure, array of data structures, and within the data structure we have the item number, quantity, price. So in this case, let's see how we can create the API in Anypoint Studio. So here I have simple order API. Here is the RAML, which has only one resource, which is orders and post method. So here is the example of the request. It accepts order number, order amount, and then the number of lines, and for each product, the quantity, price, and item number, etc. So the response will be the order status and the target order number. Okay. Target order number is the order number that is created in ACE400. So let's see the actual implementation of this API. This is a simple transformation where we are going to transform the data as required to call the program. And here I am using ACE400 connector program call to call the ACE400 program. So let's see how the configuration is. So this is general configuration where we need the URL or endpoint to the ACE400 system, user ID and password. Then the library list, you can use all the libraries where your files and programs reside. And then as already Satya has shown, these are the new parameters added: socket timeout, connection retries, and time unit to be connection time to live, etc. So this is how we configure the ACE400 connector. And then, so to configure this, we need the program name. So in the ACE400 developer, developer needs to give the parameters of the program, what have to be passed, input and output parameters, the name of the program, and the location or library where it exists. So here we can set up the program name or service program name. And if it is a service program, we have to mention this procedure name here and the library where it exists. Then coming to the parameters, we can add it inline. And here is how we define the parameters, just as in the ACE400 program. Source order, target order, names might not be same, need not be same, but the same specifications. So you can see we have all the data types that ACE400 accepts, like zoned, packed, data structure is for data structure, etc. Everything that ACE400 accepts. And also you can specify whether it is input parameter, output, or both. And I'll show you how to define data structures. So lines in is a data structure. Now within the data structure, we have fields item number, quantity, and price. So this is how we need to define the data structures. So this is how simple it is to call a program from ACE400. And then we transform the output in a way we need. We are getting the target order number, so we will just format here the written parameters from the program. So this API can now be exposed, now can be used by any other external system. Now for today's demo, we are going to show integration between Salesforce and ACE400. So I have written one simple program to call this API. So simple application to call this API. So here we are receiving orders, retrieving orders with activated status. All the orders in Salesforce which are in activated state will be pulled here and processed. So when there is no data, we just display that there are no active orders, and then transform the data as required by the API. So here I'm mapping the Salesforce field names to the API input parameter names. Okay. Order and order item details. Then call the API. API is our order API. Post method API orders. And the body is the payload, which is the order details. And then transform as required. Okay, so let me call this application and show you. So while this runs, let's create an So I'll show you the existing orders in AS400. Right now we have few orders in AS400. Okay, now let's create a new order in Salesforce. New order. Account name. Order date. Contract. Let's add few products. So here we have an order with 3 products, different quantities. Okay, and we want to see whether how this can be interfaced to AS400. Now I'll activate this order. So our order creation program is a simple program where it stores the details of header and details like the order and the item details within it. And this is a simple UI I created to see the order details. Now our programs are deployed. So I have set a polling of 1 minute where this will be polling Salesforce and processing the orders. Let's see. Yeah, the order is pulled. Let's see if it has come here. Yeah, we have got our order 110 from Salesforce and the corresponding order in AS400 is created. Let's see the details. We have all the 3 item numbers with different quantities and prices. Okay, so now the API is we are using this API through a Mule application to interface the orders from Salesforce to AS400. But in we can even use directly from Salesforce. We can call the API by using a trigger in Salesforce. So for demonstration purpose, I used an Mule application. So this is with the first demo. So we will move on to the next demo of today. So this is what I have already explained. So next demo is where we are going to stream IBMi changes from IBMi changes to external systems. Here we have a small application or the same order application where the status will be changed in IBMi, and we are going to stream these changes in near real time to external systems, that is any Salesforce or any other external systems. So let's see how we can do it in AnyPoint Studio. Here I have a application where I'm using data queues. Data queue read. Here it is again the same configuration with endpoint, user ID, password, and the library where the data queue resides. Okay. And so in this demo, I'm going to use data queue reader, data queue write, AS400 connector, two connectors here, and then so what we are going to do here is, if I change the status here in AS400, like bit or invoice something, it has to go to it has to update the same status in Salesforce. That we are going to achieve by sending using data queues. We are going to send a message through data queues, and our Mule application will receive the message and update in Salesforce. Now we got a message that caller did not pick up because our application is not running. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this program sends message through data queues, and the application, Mule application, will receive that message and transform as required by the Salesforce and update in Salesforce. Update the order status in Salesforce. So I'm here. I have the data queue demo 12 REQ, request data queue, and then the library Mule demos, and this is a keyed. So AS400 data queue reader has this feature, you can use for keyed and non-keyed data queues. So here it is, key is, I have set it to blank. You can set the key here, and also with the comparison value greater than, equal, or anything. And then we have this interesting feature of format file name. So usually when we write data to a data queue, it will be in a concatenated string, like a flat data, where we concatenate all the data values using some delimiter and send. And the developer on Mule side has to know what is the structure, what fields we are going to receive, and map them or format them on Mule side. But this feature of having format file, it will already format the data as key value pairs. So we have here is my format file. So this is the structure of the data that I'm going to send from AS400. Order number, order status, error code, error message. So if I just provide this format file details here, like format file name, so AS400 developer has to just give the format file name and library, and in Mule we just we can access the data as key value pairs. So here, if you see, you can just say payload.order status. This is the same field that we are sending. Payload.order status can give you the order status that we are receiving in the data queue, and payload.order number, and then we can format in a way it is required in our application. So to update the order, we need to get a order ID in Salesforce. So here I'm retrieving the order ID, and then transform the set order ID and status, and the same thing I'm going to update in order object in Salesforce. And then the output is formatted and written to ACE400 back, again through data queue write. Okay, so here I'll mention the data queue response data queue name and the library it exists, and the payload which has to be sent to the to ACE400. So let me run this program. Meanwhile, I'll show you how this program works. So here, what I actually need to do is, once we hit enter after changing the status, we need to send the data through data queues to the external systems. Like here, our case, Mule application is receiving the data. So, but here in my program, what I'm doing is setting up the data and then calling create transaction program. I'm not handling the data queue, sending messages on data queue, waiting for the response, processing the response, etc. I'm not handling all that code here, and just calling a create transaction program with my data, and then transaction type. Here the transaction type is create order. So this is achieved by our web transaction framework. I'll show you how that works. Our web transaction framework basically does all this work of whenever we call this program, it creates a transaction. So it keeps a log of all the transactions that are coming into ACE400, then calls the required programs, sends the messages on data queues, requests data queues, waits for the response, processes the response, and then if there are any errors, the errors will be logged. So I'll show you how easy it is. So create order is our transaction type. I just need to configure this here with all these. This is the processing program. This is a standard processing program that sends messages to data queues and receives the messages and processes it. Okay, so I have configured that program. So we can configure any program that we want to call. Then we have request data queue and response data queue set up here. And then other parameters like wait time, wait for 20 seconds, and then number of retries, and auto process after call. This is set to Y, then we can, the program automatically calls the transaction. For this transaction type, the program will be automatically called, and it is like a switch where if we don't want to call the program, we can stop this by setting no. Okay, these are the parameters, and you can see how there is TRN header, transaction header, where all the transactions will be noted, logged. So this is like create transaction, and transaction status, whether processed or failed. Last time it failed for us because the application was not ready. And the date timestamp, user details, and then the data that we were sending. Okay, and similarly we have transaction log, where we will note the errors. So here you can see again the date timestamp, error code, and then we can see the even the call stack, so we can trace back where the error occurred. And then you can see different kinds of errors: data already exists, caller did not pick up, etc. Okay, this is how web transaction framework handles the communication using data queues. So that makes the programming simpler on ACE400 side. So let's see, our application is ready and running. So let's edit, or so I'll be changing it to invoiced status. Hit enter. So I have set status to 20 seconds. First time it may take a little longer because the application has to connect to ACE400, and from the second onwards, next transaction onwards, it will be faster. So successfully updated in SFTC. Let's see if it is updated. Okay, 110 order invoiced. So now you can see how faster it will be. Maybe I can change it to shipped. Yeah, it's all. You can see it is faster now. And let's see if the status changed. Yeah, it is shipped. Okay, this is how we can achieve real-time streaming or integration with external systems from ACE400, and it is very simple. So there are several ways to expose IBMi programs as APIs via IBM Integrated Web Services, DB to stored procedures, CGI programming, etc. But today what we want to demonstrate is how easily we can integrate ACE400 with external systems without passing XMLs or JSONs or even sending output in XML format, etc. All that complexity is handled by our Mule ACE400 connector and the web transaction framework. So this will ease the job of the ACE400 developer with no complex programming and no additional tools. So ACE400 connector and the web transaction framework make the integration fast and easy. So this is all we have already talked about. The web transaction framework, it's a wrapper and to ease the integration. Okay, it's a lightweight integration gateway. This is the detailed flow diagram, which we already demonstrated. So we have all these features in the connector, and coming soon is auto generation of RAML and program call definitions based on the program parameter structure. And and we also have a data capture component coming soon. This is for real-time integration or data replication on external systems. Handing over to you, Satya.
Thanks, Nalini. It was very nice demo, excellent demo. And these are the resources available in internet, in our company website, YouTube. You can follow these links. I will find a lot of resources related to our connector, different kind of use cases, different demos available in our GitHub repository of our organization. Also, you can find out a lot of codes and demos in our company website. Today's demo we will also upload in GitHub, Infoview Systems GitHub, and you can download it from there. You can just change the properties. You can configure the ACE400 connection, SFDC connection, and you can try it in your systems. That will give you more idea. In case of any queries, you can anytime you can reach us. You can send us a mail to mule400@infoviewsystems.com, or you can reach us to our company website. Next slide, Nalini. So Infoview Systems professional services, and these are the things we provide here in our Infoview Systems. We are the strong focus on customer business outcomes and long-term care. We mean it. We have the extensive cross-platform IBMi MuleSoft experience, and we have the domain knowledge in retail distributions and consumer credits, utilities, environmental services, and other verticals. We are flexible in pricing and engagement model. Sriranjani, would you like to talk something on this?
Sure. Thank you, Satya. Thank you, Nalini, for taking us through this. The scope and our team framework. The scope would be application integration strategy, solution architecture, MuleSoft implementation and support, and IBMi modernization, as we had presented earlier. You could reach us for any of these. These are our scope offerings, and you can reach us anytime through our website. Or you can also reach us through social media. We have a profile on LinkedIn. You can message us from there. The exchange URL for this is right here. You can you can copy this exchange URL for going forward. Our team, leadership team would be Mike O'Mara, who's the president, Dimitri, and Satya. You can reach them at any of these numbers for any kind of support or any kind of services that you want to offer as an offering. There are a couple of questions that have come in, Satya and Nalini. Could I start with the questions?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the first question is, what is the cost of this connector and web transaction framework? So anybody wants to take on that question?
So the cost of the connector and the web transaction framework, yeah, we can discuss separately. Probably you can send a mail to us because we don't have any kind of published prices for this, and we discuss the pricing based on the use cases. We can discuss that separately. You can reach us and we'll set up a meeting and we'll discuss the pricing based on the use cases.
All right, we have another one. How is this connector different from the DB connector? Is the question that we got.
Okay, so DB connector can be used only to insert or update data into ACE400 database, and it can also be used to call stored procedures. But when we come to ACE400 connector, we have a lot of other functionalities, like we can call programs, service program procedures. We can also stream data to external systems using data queue connectors, data queue read, write connectors.
All right. Thank you, Nalini. If I would like to buy only web transaction framework, can I buy that? Another person asks me that question.
Yeah, definitely. That is possible. You can buy any of the product separately. You can buy combinedly, and we have such kind of pricing model available. We can discuss that actually in a one-to-one call. We have the pricing model based on, we generally charge, it's a subscription based, yearly, 3 yearly, or basically another customized model. We can talk about that. And we charge basically per ACE400 systems and production system and the non-production system. So we have the combined package. We can give the license you for one production systems and one non-prod systems, or multiple production system or multiple non-prod systems, or unlimited things. So we have different kind of pricing model, and we are very open to discuss on this with a one-on-one meeting. I request you to provide your details to Siranjani in here in the chat box, and we'll reach out to you.
Great, thank you, Satya. What is data queue, and how is it different from active MQ?
Okay, data queues are a lightweight messaging queues which are native to IBMi. They are fastest way of communicating between programs or jobs within AS400 and to external systems. So they come along with AS400, and you do not need any additional skills or tools to use them. That's why these are we were using data queues in our web transaction framework and also AS400 connector.
Okay, the next question is, can this connector work with Kafka?
So this connector is built for AnyPoint platform, MuleSoft AnyPoint platform. If the use case is you would like to pull some data and push into the Kafka, or read something from Kafka and push into the AS400 by using the MuleSoft, definitely this connector will work. But if you would like to utilize some use cases, develop some use cases with the Kafka Connect in Confluent, then this connector will not work. For that, we have a separate product, and that is upcoming product for that, and we can that will be released soon, and that connector will be separately work with the Kafka Connect in Confluent. So that is the in Confluent infrastructure. So that will be a separate connector. But if you want to utilize this connector, and by using the MuleSoft Anyone platform, if you develop the use case with the Kafka, that definitely you can utilize this connector.
Okay, another person asked that I have already purchased the license for Mule 3 compatible connector. Do I need to buy the license for the latest connector? Anybody would like to take on that?
Yeah, so see, our license work for any version of the connector is just an upgrade, right? So you don't need to buy separately. Your license, if your license are valid, you must have bought the license for 1 year or 3 years, right? So you can utilize the same license with this connector. You don't need to purchase separately. You can just do an upgrade in your application.
Okay, thank you. Is there any performance overhead for this connector? Any performance?
There is no performance overhead as such for this connector. It has been tested thoroughly and even being used by many of our prospective clients for the past few years with very high volumes of transactions. So absolutely there is no performance overhead.
Okay, great. What do you mean by certified by Mule? We have a question.
So yeah. So when we develop any connector and we publish to the MuleSoft exchange, public exchange, we can get it certified by the MuleSoft expert from the directly from the Salesforce MuleSoft organization. So they review our code thoroughly. They make sure that we have, while we are developing this connector, all kind of best practices are followed. All kind of test cases, use cases, demos, and documentations are available publicly, so that people can utilize this connector, and there is no such kind of defect. So all those kind of standards checks, security checks, and the testings done by the MuleSoft experts, and then only they provide this certificate to connector, and they release it to MuleSoft Exchange. So if any connector is certified by the MuleSoft, that means that's a very already gone through very kind of rigorous testing and review process, and it's a very trusted connector.
Great. Okay, thank you. If I have not opted for MuleSoft as integration platform, will you be able to create API with custom solution quickly?
Yeah, definitely, that is possible. We can talk on that, and we have. If you are not using the MuleSoft Anyone platform, if you are using any other integration platform, or even if you are not using any integration platform, you want to expose your S400 API, we can provide you the custom solutions. We have already available a lot of components in our organization. We can quickly give you the solution for that as well. Some kind of open source based solution or some kind of Java based solution, we can definitely provide that solution to you. Please,
Great,
Please provide your email ID and the phone number to Sriranjani. Will reach out to you.
Yes, you can please go ahead and email us the questions at mule400@infoviewsystems.com. I think we have come to the end of the session. We can, thank you all for participating. Thank you, Satya and Nalini, for this great session. It was great speaking to you all, and thank you very much.
Thanks everyone. Nice to and we'll also in future will conduct many webinars related to the different kind of legacy system modernization and other use cases in different region, and we will invite you so that you can get the information about that. Thanks everyone again. Thanks Ranjani. Thanks Nalini.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.